are trying to use. Of course, libs will vote for Governor Newsom. They are the Borg hive mentality. They will do whatever they are told. Accurate. You know what? This last one, as we wrap up, I have a couple seconds left. Let me just pose this question. tpt@tpusa.com. I'd love your thoughts on this. Edward talking about, I'll condense it here. Edward talking about Homan's reductions in the presence at Minneapolis. I'd love to hear your thoughts. What do we think about that? Homan saying, hey, we're going to remove some federal agents from that. Personally, my first initial thought when I read that is, hey, as long as the deportation numbers are still up, I don't care if you move people around, shift things over or whatever. I don't necessarily think that is a lib win as the libs think it is. And even some of you might think it is, but I'd love to hear your thoughts. tpt@tpusa.com. Do you think that this is a lib win, or do you kind of like, yeah, it doesn't matter to me, just make sure the deportations are continuing to happen? tpt@tpusa.com. That's going to do it for us. Really appreciate you sticking around, tuning in. We will be back tomorrow, same time, same place. God bless America.
When the lights go down, the truth comes out.
Tucker, you are not the father. This has to be wrong!
After Hours with Alex Stein. No filter.
If it was okay to have anal sex.
No apologies.
You were talking about things that probably you shouldn't talk about.
The undisputed king of trolling.
I finally have my own show!
At one point, your ancestors owned slaves.
They tried to cancel us.
Deplatforming works.
She wants to kill babies, but she's still beautiful. Look at that booty on AOC. That's my favorite big booty Latina.
Politics, culture, hypocrisy.
They want them to have their penises cut off.
Uncensored and uncontrolled.
Cut your penis off, actually.
That's what I'm saying. They admit they want to cut people's penises off.
Late night just got dangerous. After Hours with your host, Alex Stein, starts right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to After Hours with Alex Stein on Real America's Voice. And you know what we're doing tonight? We're going to get really, really weird because we have an incredible guest, Jay Dyer, coming up next. But before we get into Jay Dyer, I want to talk about my favorite content creator of all time. I think that he is the smartest, sexiest man in conservative politics. You know him and you love him, and he goes by the name of Ben Shapiro. Now, Ben and I have, we're not like best friends. We should be. He won't answer my phone calls or respond to my texts, but I'm a little disappointed in my boy Ben, because Ben seems to be doing cover for Jeffrey Epstein. And I know that sounds ridiculous, right? Like Ben Shapiro's doing cover for Jeffrey Epstein. But recently he said that the latest cache of Epstein documents was a nothing burger, and that it was just Jeffrey Epstein that was doing the child sex trafficking to himself. He was trafficking these children, I guess, to nobody else. And Ben, I just want to correct the record. You were the guy that created the saying, facts over feelings. I don't know how many more facts you need to see to understand that Jeffrey Epstein was running a sophisticated sex trafficking ring involving some of the most powerful people in the world, including Bill Clinton and including Ehud Barak, the prime minister of Israel, which is my favorite country. We love Israel, the greatest country on earth, so don't get me started on that. The best, better than America, and they deserve all of our money. But neither here nor there, Ben. What I want to say is this latest clip is going viral for all the wrong reasons. And I'm not asking you to just totally flame Jeffrey Epstein, because I know you're close friends with his personal attorney, Alan Dershowitz. But I think that you need to have a more nuanced take. I get crushed all the time if I don't just go with a status quo when it comes to the conservative talking points. But that's not who I am. I try to be real. I'm Primetime 99 Alex Stein, and I welcome the hate. But it seems like you are not willing to understand that we all know what Jeffrey Epstein was doing, except for you. And you're one of the smartest guys. I'm not here to gas you up, Ben, but you're very smart. You're a brilliant young man, okay? Well, now maybe you're getting a little older, but that's not important. What is important is I want to play this clip, and then I want to get, I guess, your opinion of it. I want you to watch it, and I want you to judge. Is Ben Shapiro doing cover for Jeffrey Epstein? Let's play the clip.
So there are lots of claims that are like this in these files, and trying to actually run down the source of the claims is really important, because one of the things that happens in internet land is people will take unverified, salacious allegations that have not been run down by the FBI. They will then run those through the internet machine, and suddenly this becomes likely probable truth. Well, you actually have to run down each specific allegation in the 3.5 million pages of data before you run with the it's definitely true, or it's verified, or this is the reason why policy X, Y, or Z happened. And there's just a call for evidence. And if the evidence shows what people want it to show, and I really believe that. I think there are a lot of people who want this evidence to show that, in fact, the Jeffrey Epstein pedophilic sex ring has been running all of global politics for years, because that is a comforting thought for a lot of people about the nature of how politics works. That actually there is a coterie of people who are very sophisticated, who are running everything in American public life. And those people are being linked by pedophilic sex orgies and all this kind of stuff. There's a large swath of people for whom this idea is appealing. The evidence is not there. If the evidence presents itself, we will be happy to cover it.
You know, Ben, I do not know how much more evidence you need, but there is a saying, there's no amount of evidence that can convince an idiot. And I hate to call you an idiot because I think you're a very bright, intelligent person. So what I'm thinking is that you're being disingenuous. I think that you might be doing cover for people that are friends of yours that might be implicated in the Jeffrey Epstein scandal. Because when I interpret this, the amount of evidence, the amount of facts that we have, and for you to continue to say that this is crazy internet conspiracy, or that the people that are interested in it wanted it to happen, what kind of accusation is that? Why would anybody want children to be sexually trafficked? I mean, that accusation is disgusting, unfair, untrue, and ridiculous, Ben. But then we have the senator from Texas, Ted Cruz, saying something very interesting that kind of goes in line with what you just said. So let's play that clip, and then we're going to get my reaction of both of them.
And tragically, this pattern keeps on happening. Now, Senator Booker also said we should have bipartisan agreement. I think that's a great idea. We should have bipartisan agreement. How about we all come together and say, let's stop murders? How about we all come together and say, let's stop rape? How about we all come together and say, let's stop attacking pedophiles?
Well, let's play that again, actually, but, you know, we don't have to edit it because the ending part is the best part. So call it. Let's play that again. We don't have to edit anything. Just let it play before you cut to me, because the ending of it is the best. It's only 17 seconds. So I just want to make sure everybody hears the end, because the end is the Freudian slip that, I mean, makes kind of Ted Cruz look guilty, because they even say a Freudian slip. His conscious is thinking that, right? He might have accidentally said it, but that's what his brain was thinking. So let's play the clip one more time and just let it play all the way through, and then come back to me.
And tragically, this pattern keeps on happening. Now, Senator Booker also said we should have bipartisan agreement. I think that's a great idea. We should have bipartisan agreement. How about we all come together and say, let's stop murders? How about we all come together and say, let's stop rape? How about we all come together and say, let's stop attacking pedophiles?
I mean, how can that be so misconstrued? You literally said, let's stop attacking pedophiles. And I know Ted Cruz is going to say, well, you know, it was just a Freudian slip. But your subconscious really tells the truth. The fact that you said that, Ted Cruz, it indicates that you are trying to protect pedophiles. And I know that's a strong accusation, because I know that you're not pro-pedophile. But your brain is thinking something different than what your mouth wants to say. And your brain overpowered your mouth right there. And so we see this clip of Ben Shapiro saying that the Epstein files are basically a nothing burger, and that anybody that thinks it's something wants it to happen. And then we have a senator on record in front of millions of people telling us to stop attacking pedophiles. Well, guess what, Ted? I'm never going to stop attacking pedophiles. If I see a pedophile, I'm going to go punch him in the face. I'm going to go kick his ass. Pedophiles are the worst people in the entire world. In my opinion, they're worse than murderers. So, Ted, you got to check yourself before you wreck yourself. And Ben, you're better than this. I mean, you're the whole guy, facts over feelings. And there's a whole cachet of facts. But I guess apparently you don't want your feelings to get hurt, because the prime minister of Israel was hanging out with this guy. But I don't think that implicates every single person in Israel as a pedophile. But maybe you saying that there's powerful leaders hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein and calling me crazy, calling us crazy for connecting the dots, that makes you an asshole. And I don't even know if I could say that, but maybe we shouldn't say that. But that's what you are. For accusing me of wanting this to happen, accusing me of wanting children to be sexually assaulted, that accusation is so false and so, disgusting. I hope one day we get to talk in person. And I would never do anything to you physically, Ben, but I would give you a piece of my mind because you have a big audience. You have a huge platform, and you need to do better. You need to do better. Right now, there's a horrible split within the conservative movement of people like yourself attacking our own, attacking Tucker. The list goes on, doing weird stuff to Candace. I don't understand why you want to attack your own side, but at the same exact time play defense for people like Bill Clinton, who's on Epstein's Island over 20 times. Just think about that. Think about who you're protecting. Nobody likes Bill Clinton. He's sticking cigars up Monica Lewinsky's vagina in the Oval Office. And that's the type of guy you want to protect? Hillary Clinton is known for having a kill list longer than a dang CVS receipt. So, like I said, you're the guy that created the whole saying, facts over feelings. I don't know how many more facts you need, Ben. You got 3 million facts available for your research and your team to research to prove that I am not a person that wants children to be trafficked by powerful elite men. I just want to call it out because this is the world that we live in, where reality is stranger than fiction. Well, guys, tonight's episode is going to get really, really spicy, and we've already started by going after Ben and Ted Cruz, and I don't love going after these guys. I know they love coming after our side, but I just want to say I can't help myself. I cannot help myself because I don't see AOC saying that we're crazy for wanting to hear this information. I don't see Cory Booker or any of these libtarded politicians saying that. And I don't see any of these libtarded politicians saying to stop attacking pedophiles. So I'm an umpire calling balls and strikes. If you can't understand that, you need to get your brain checked and you need to get your medication adjusted. All right, folks. Well, tonight is such a great night. We have the legend himself, Jay Dyer. He's one of the world's best debaters when it comes to orthodoxy, among many other topics. And we're going to dive deep into what this Epstein cachet of released documents really means. Coming up next, the one, the only, Jay Dyer.
Exactly what they're doing. They want to steal the election. We're going to walk down Pennsylvania Avenue, and we're going to the Capitol. They need to take back our country.
Events in Washington have taken a violent and tumultuous turn.
January 6th wasn't just a moment in history. For thousands of Americans, it was the moment their voices were taken.
It's insurrection.
They were persecuted, hunted.
Seditious conspiracy.
But behind prison walls, something unexpected happened. They found their voice again.
Started singing the national anthem.
We took it up to him at Mar-a-Lago. He goes, I'll put my voice on it.
Our supporters made this go platinum.
Real America's Voice is telling the real story of January 6th like you've never seen it before.
Everybody, this must be peaceful.
This is not the story you were shown.
I take responsibility.
This is the story they live.
Government entrapment scheme that this actually was.
The J6 Patriots are no longer staying silent. They are speaking, they are standing, and they are telling the truth.
You can't kill us. You can't beat us.
Scan the QR code or visit realamericasvoice.com. Real America's Voice presents The Sleeping Giant. Available now. Real America's Voice is growing, and now it's all in one place. Introducing the new and improved RAV app, built for access, community, and choice, not paywalls. Here's the key. RAV is still free to watch. No sign-in, no membership required. Your favorite live streams, breaking coverage, and video on demand are all right there. Free, just like always.
For the War Room Posse, we have to be a force multiplier on this. We have to stick the landing.
In the White House, in the Oval Office, you're crushing it, my friend.
And if you want more, the members section is your backstage pass. Get exclusive behind-the-scenes photos and videos, insider moments from the studio and the field, and early access to new content before it goes public. Members can also unlock special experiences like virtual meet and greets, member-only auctions, and select event access, plus commercial-free viewing of certain shows inside the app. It's not just an app, it's a community. Download the RAV app today. Find it in the App Store and Google Play.
Well, folks, I'm an idiot. I told Jay Dyer the wrong time to come on. And, yeah, look at Megamind. I'm not Megamind now, even though my mind is big. It is a retarded mind. But, yeah, I told Jay the wrong time. It is what it is. Jay's a good guy. Maybe he'll come on later. But we did send him multiple emails. He didn't respond to those emails. But I guess he only wants to talk to me because, you know, he's Jay Dyer. I don't know. But it is what it is. So sorry for teasing him earlier. He's not going to be on the show unless he answers his phone and then decides to come on later. So maybe that's like, you know, you can just wait and hang out. But really, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. We got lots to react to. So the first thing I want to react to, this guy is dominating. I don't know his name, but he's a strong black man that is asking Donald Trump if he can get involved with deporting these illegal immigrants. And I'll be honest, I want amnesty for big booty Latinas. So I don't know if I really want this guy getting all my big booty Latinas out of America, but I'll let you be the judge. So let's play the clip and then we'll react to it.
Hey, yo, I need y'all to do me a favor. I need y'all to get this to DJT. Get this to Donald J. Trump soon as possible. Hey, Donald Trump, listen here, bro. Hey, how much you paying per illegal? How much you paying per illegal? Cause I got about 50 over here, tall ones, like 6'1", 6'2", 6'3", that I know can run a Mexican down in 0.3 seconds, easy. We can round their ass up for you. All you gotta do is let me know what the price is on their head. I got some niggas out here ready to get that money, man. You know what I'm saying? The dope game over with, Donald J. So let's make the new game catch an illegal, chase a Mexican, Venezuelan, Honduran.
Now, he said something very brilliant. He said the dope game is over. Now we want to use our resources on catching Mexicans. And I agree with him wholeheartedly. You talk about being 6'3", fast as lightning. Hispanics typically are shorter, so they're not going to be able to climb and jump and run as well as a strong, sophisticated black man like himself. So I really like this idea. I think that we could actually weaponize these drug dealers. Instead of them selling the fentanyl-laced cocaine, we just give them an ICE badge and we let them go catch a bunch of Hispanics. That sounds like a winning plan. They get some money in the bank, shorty what you drank, and then we get rid of all the Hispanics that are committing crimes. And then, maybe they actually have ulterior motives because they're probably losing in the drug game to all of these Hispanics that are able to work with the cartels and get these drugs in for lower prices, and they're able to probably mark them up with a bigger markup. So I don't know. Maybe there are ulterior motives with this guy, but I think what he said is very poignant. We can stop selling drugs and start catching Mexicans. That's the America that I want to live in. I want to live in an America where I walk down the street and a guy's not trying to sell me crack. That guy is on the lookout for an illegal Mexican with a rap sheet, like I said earlier, longer than a CVS receipt. So I would argue that one sophisticated black man like himself is equal to about 20 white ICE officers because he's faster, stronger, maybe not smarter, street smarter, maybe not book smarter. Let me clarify. And I think that this really would get rid of the problem, because I'm sick of these Trinde Aruga guys coming here and doing Lake and Riley and having sexually assaulting her and then killing her at a gas station. I don't want that to happen anymore. So we need to get more drug dealers to stop selling drugs and to start catching these illegals. I love it. He loves it. I'm sure Donald Trump will love it. So if you're watching this show right now, please tweet to J.D. Vance, Donald Trump, Kash Patel, and even Dan Bongino. Why not? I know he's not part of the administration anymore, but, he needs to know that we have a secret weapon. And that secret weapon is a 6'1" black man that has a 40-yard dash faster than lightning. I love it. You love it. We all love it. I know Trump loves it because Trump loves a black man. You see Cardi B's coming after Donald Trump, but you know who's not coming after Donald Trump? Nicki Minaj. Because Nicki Minaj is the only one that's honest about her feelings. And before 2016, every single rapper, all they did was rap about how much they loved Donald Trump and how they wanted gold and how they wanted to be like him. 50 Cent had him on his radio show and was kissing his derriere. And then as soon as he becomes president, they get these marching orders from their managers and these agents to tell them, hey, you got to not like Donald Trump. So I really have to give Nicki Minaj a lot of credit because she's getting totally canceled. She's getting totally bamboozled for not just, sticking with the status quo of hating Donald Trump. And, she might not be rewarded at the Grammys, but she's being rewarded by the people in our movement that appreciate her for being candid and being honest about her feelings when it comes to Donald Trump. So I love it. I know you love it. That black guy loves it. I'm sure Nicki Minaj would love it if we got a bunch of African-American agents to go catch these illegals, even though I don't know what her immigration status is. But that's neither here nor there. It doesn't matter. If she's illegal, she deserves amnesty because she's got a big booty. Yes, she got that booty done in Brazil, and it was a Brazilian butt lift, but still it counts. It definitely counts. Now, that clip was so good. I have to go to another great clip. This is from a podcast that I love so much. It's called the Sessions Podcast. And let's play this, and I want to get your guys' reaction.
So I'm just trying to get your perspective. Is it appropriate as a grown man to use your blinker to tell people you going left, right, up, back, wherever you going? I don't.
If you know what a blinker really means, like, okay, I'm about to turn left. I want you to turn left with me. Like, you let people know your next move, because at that point, people going to copy, they going to follow you. When I drive, bro, I don't even put my headlights on. I just drive, no blinker, no headlights, I just move. Because at that point, bro, you can't see what I'm thinking. You can't know where I'm going. And in JC, the creek, bro, you don't know who's following you, bro. You don't know what's going to happen next. Because imagine I put my blinker on, I'm turning left to McDonald's. Boom, I can turn around, I can see 3 goons behind me going to McDonald's too. Yeah. Now I'm stuck, now I'm out of luck.
If anything, you should be doing the opposite blinker, so you people don't know what you're doing.
That's what I was thinking too.
See, that's genius. That is the super soldier ICE agent right there. If you think they're going right, they're not going right. They're going left. They might have the right blinker on. So that's how we trick these people. So these guys are brilliant. I love those two young gentlemen. I think that we all need to probably strive to be more like them. Never let them know your next move because the government is watching. They got a mass surveillance system on your derriere every second of the day. So never let them know your next move. That's the difference between you and I is that, yeah, I might be doing some shady stuff on the side, but I don't want, like he said, one of these goons coming up to me at McDonald's while I'm trying to get my hot fries. So I love this attitude, and I think that's the attitude of a super ICE agent. And everybody likes Vanilla Ice, Ice Ice Baby. That's a rap song, I know, done by a white guy, which is, kind of ironic, but I digress. What is important is that we can learn a lot from a culture that has been demonized in our country. And I want to say that I love the black man, I support the black man. And if you don't feel the same way, you're a racist. And guess what? There's probably some racists watching this show. I'll allow it. But if you don't think that that's the most brilliant podcast you've ever seen in your life, then you're the one that's smoking crack. And yes, those guys probably smoke crack. Ooh, it's a big deal. So does Hunter Biden. It's not that bad, okay? There are, instances where it can be medicinal. So I love this attitude. I love this strategy. It's very unorthodox. And desperate times call for desperate measures. And you never know these guys' next move. So if you're an illegal immigrant and you're trying to track down the ICE, it's, tracking you down, you couldn't find them. I mean, and you see these protesters in Minneapolis following these ICE agents. This would be a perfect strategy. And these people are idiot libtards. They see a guy put on their left blinker. They're going to turn left while the guy's going right. So they're going to be able to evade the protesters and catch the illegals. I've never thought of a better strategy in my life. And this comes down to Donald Trump reaching out to these young men. Because, like I said, these guys aren't your typical ICE agent. They're not your typical Department of Homeland Security agent. These guys are different. They're better. They're bigger, stronger, faster, blacker. And that matters. It does matter. We have the Super Bowl coming up this weekend. And guess what? The majority of the players in the Super Bowl are what color? Black. Why? Because they're bigger, stronger, faster. So when it comes to taking down an illegal gang member from Venezuela, a 6'1" African-American man with a 40-yard dash under 4.4 seconds would be the ultimate super ICE agent. I love it. You love it. I know Donald Trump will love it. So like I asked you to do earlier, this is a call to action. I need you to do whatever it takes to get this to the administration. They need to see both clips so that they can have context when it comes to how we can solve this immigration crisis. I believe if we put enough of these guys in Minneapolis, the immigration problem would be solved in probably 2 months, because they're going to be out there catching 10, 15 guys, especially if you put a bounty on their head, you had some money in the bank, shorty what you drank. These guys are not going to stop. They're not going to sleep, because money doesn't sleep. And that's the attitude that we need to have. Is cash money, rules everything around me. Cream, Wu-Tang Clan. That's me. I mean, I'm primetime Alex Stein. I'm 1/16th black, so I can talk like this, and everything that I said is kosher. So thank you to those young gentlemen for being so honest and so brave when it comes to solving America's problems. Like I said earlier, desperate times call for desperate measures. So if that means giving ex-felons guns so they can go chase down Trinde Aruga, I'm all for it. I love it, you love it, and I guarantee you President Trump will love it. Well, coming up after the break, we're going to talk about more race issues. That's right. There's not enough black coaches, apparently. Adam Schefter of ESPN is complaining that during the most recent cycle, they didn't hire enough African Americans. And you know what? I agree. Every coach should be black. Coming up next.
There are few things more aggravating than seeing your tax dollars wasted by the government. All too often, when big government tries to save the day, the funds sent around the world to help people in need are diverted by corrupt leaders to line their own pockets, enrich their cronies, or further an agenda that has nothing to do with helping their countrymen. You can do a better job at promoting freedom than any government can. Scan the QR code now or visit atlasnetwork.org/RAV today to join the worldwide freedom movement. With your gift of just $19 a month, we'll send you an Atlas Network exclusive hat. Plus, we'll send the print edition of our Freedom's Champion magazine to your door. We identify, train up, and celebrate local leaders as they work to make freedom a reality across the world. Our partners often risk everything: their reputations, their livelihoods, even their lives to fight for freedom in places where authoritarianism reigns. Visit atlasnetwork.org/RAV or scan the QR code to join our mission to help pro-freedom organizations around the world. Donate $19 a month to receive your exclusive Atlas Network hat.
Hi, my name is Tracy L. from Arizona. I don't stink around in the kitchen when it comes to the news. I watch Real America's Voice, which always serves accurate and reliable updates that are on point with their amazing hosts. So don't find yourself in a pickle by tuning into the fake news. Stick with Real America's Voice.
Hello, this is Hockey Nut from Weyerhaeuser, Wisconsin. Just saying, tune in to Real America's Voice for the truth.
Hi, Pep from Muskegon, Michigan. Why do you love Rav?
Because we've become family. All those Rav live chatters and me.
Hi, Pep from Muskegon, Michigan. Why do you love Rav?
Because we've become family. All those Rav live chatters and me.
time. Ukraine and I go insane. Put a bullet in Putin's brain. And you got that sanitizer. And you know
That's right, folks. You're watching After Hours with Alex Stein. And tonight we have an urban-themed episode. Because here at the show, we support and love the black man and the black woman. Definitely love the black woman. Love the black woman way more than the black man, no offense. But we love the black man, too. Because oftentimes, they want us to be divided. They want us to fight between races. And, you know, I love black people. I love Chinese people. I love Indians. I don't know, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. But I don't want to get into that. I do want to get into Adam Schefter, though. Now, Adam Schefter is one of the biggest journalists when it comes to NFL. He's always breaking news. He is an expert. His connections are just incredibly deep. But I just don't understand why a guy like Adam Schefter is going to come on a podcast and virtue signal that there's not enough black guys that are coaching in the NFL or getting hired this coaching cycle. But he does correct himself, and there was a coach who is a non-white coach, Robert Saleh, I don't know how to say his name, and he's a pro-Palestine coach, which that's kind of random. He actually got in trouble for wearing a Palestine pin at his last head coaching job, but we'll get into that. Let's hear Adam Schefter complain about the NFL not hiring enough black coaches.
What stands out to you about this year's hiring cycle?
I think the biggest blight on the NFL in what has been a great season is the fact that in this cycle, with 10 new head coaches hired, there were 0 black head coaches hired. 0. That's embarrassing. And the league is now left with 3 black head coaches, D'Amico Ryans, Aaron Glenn, and Todd Bowles. And I think if we took a survey of people across the league and asked them, the coaches who are on the warmest seats entering the 2026 season, you might start with Aaron Glenn and Todd Bowles.
Yeah.
So the league can't afford to keep losing its minority head coaches. And I know that the league will say, well, there was 1 minority head coach hired in the cycle, and that is accurate, Robert Saleh, but there were no black head coaches hired in this cycle.
Well, you know what's funny is that over 80% of the players in the NFL are black. So the league is very black. I mean, they ended racism by painting it at the end of the end zones. So I don't know how much more you want, Adam. And to be honest, I'd rather these African Americans be used as ICE agents than football coaches. Like, we have enough football coaches. There's an endless amount of football coaches. We need more ICE agents, especially in Minneapolis, catching a lot of these criminals, these Trinidad Aruga gangbangers. So, Adam, your analysis when it comes to the recent coaching cycle is just wrong. And I'm pro-black. I love the black man. I'm 1/16th black. But I see this, and it kind of makes me just question whether these teams really want to win or whether they're trying to virtue signal. Now, the Dallas Cowboys, they've never had a black coach, but they also haven't won a Super Bowl in 30 years. And a lot of you guys accuse me of being anti-LGBTQ, and obviously that's impossible because I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. So I have gay pride 17 weeks of the year. And I cheer. I wear my jersey. I yell and scream. And, you know, it doesn't have to be Pride Month because every freaking week is Pride Month when you're a Dallas Cowboys fan. So, Adam, I just want to ask you this. You're going to see this clip. I know it. I know you look at everything with your name on it. We're going to put it on Twitter. We're going to put you on blast. A league that is over 80% African American, you're complaining that there's not enough African American coaches. And the NFL put in the Rooney Rule, where every team has to interview at least one potential coach of color. So the league has rules in place to hire a coach that is a different skin color than white. But if you look at all of these DEI numbers, don't you think it's a little unfair that a white guy with a higher test score than an African American might not get into law school or medical school because they're the wrong color? So by making everything about color, I would say you're the racist. You're the one that needs to be colorblind. And we should have a meritocracy. This country should be a meritocracy. The best man for the job should get hired not based on their skin color, but based on their success rate, based on their resume, based on the prior information that we have that shows that they were successful in the field that they were doing previously. So whether it was an assistant coach or whether it was an ex-player, it doesn't matter their skin color. What matters is whether they give that football franchise the best opportunity to go to the Super Bowl. And that's happening this Sunday. And there's actually an inordinate amount of bets being placed on the Seattle Seahawks, which this is not a gambling show. But that makes me really worried because Vegas knows that if a bunch of people are gambling one way, they want to tilt it in their favor so that they can come out on top. So I don't really like to ride with the public when it comes to gambling. So if everybody's betting on the Seahawks, I can't believe I'm going to have to bet on the Pats probably. And I'm not going to bet that much. I really don't encourage gambling. It's very dangerous. It's a slippery slope. You make one bet, you win. All of a sudden you think you're freaking a pro gambler. And that's the worst thing that can happen to you at the casino. If you go to the casino and win, that's how they get you addicted. And the casinos don't look at it like a loss. They look at it like a loan. Even if you hit a big jackpot on a slot machine or you win a big parlay in sports betting, they don't care. They actually like it when people win so that their brain is trained to realize that, yeah, when I go to the casino, I'm more than likely to lose. But if you've been there and won before, there's always going to be that thought in the back of your head, well, I can win again. I can win again. And guess what? You probably can't win again. You probably only get one good win, you know. So if you're going to gamble on the Super Bowl, don't gamble a lot. Don't lose your family over this. Gambling is really more toxic than a lot of drugs and alcohol, believe it or not. So if you see all the action on one side on Seattle, I would tell you it's probably going to go the other way. But it's all rigged anyway. And I know, Alex, you think you're so crazy saying it's rigged. There's been NFL MVPs from the Super Bowl that said that they knew the plays of the other teams before they even ran the plays. So this is a thing that happens. And this year you had Pete Carroll when it was the game was out of reach. They had no chance of winning. Kick a field goal with 1 second left because of a penalty and gave them the ability to cover the spread. So there is some funny business in the NFL. There are players that have been caught in basketball and suspended for point shaving, for not hitting their daily prop bet totals. So if it happens in basketball, I guarantee you it happens in other sports. Because a lot of these guys are friends. They talk. They look at the lines. They look at their daily prop bets. It's impossible not to. In a league that's driven by gambling, it's impossible for the players not to notice that, you know, whether they score 15 or 16 points could be the difference of a person winning thousands and thousands of dollars. And Vegas knows this too. So this Super Bowl, be very careful. There's not enough black coaches, according to Adam Schefter. But what I'm really worried about is that Taylor Swift is probably really sad yelling at Travis Kelce for not making it to the big game. Can you imagine that? Poor Travis getting yelled at by, you know, the biggest Swiftie of all, Taylor Swift. And I miss Taylor Swift. I actually kind of like it when she's on the sideline. Not because she's hot, but because, you know, everybody that watches these games, like I said, Taylor Swift kind of keeps it interesting. She makes it get a little more attention. So now football's a little more socially acceptable. So you can kind of be a gambling degenerate watching the game with your girlfriend or wife because she wants to see Taylor Swift show up. So I actually like that because I'm a football player, ex-football player. I'm primetime 99 Alex Stein. I was captain of the Highland Park football team where I played with Matthew Stafford, who is a current quarterback for the Los Angeles Rams. So I am the pimp on a blimp. I know a little bit about football. I don't know as much as Adam Schefter, Mr. We don't have enough black coaches, but I would argue that we got plenty of black coaches. That's what I would say, but Adam Schefter would probably disagree with me. Now, I want to show you guys something that is breaking the internet. There is evidence that Jeffrey Epstein might still be alive. Yes, that's right. This picture out of Tel Aviv shows a man that looks very similar to Jeffrey Epstein. Now, there's been multiple pictures. Some people say it's AI. Some people say it's real. With modern technology this day and age, it's hard to tell what is real and what is fake. But there was a leak in the recent leaks where the guard at the prison said that they never do prisoner transfers on the weekends. And then at 9 p.m., I believe it was Friday or Saturday night, Jeffrey Epstein was transferred out of the Southern District of New York Federal Prison in New York City. And the guard also noticed that in the van, the medical van that Jeffrey Epstein was in, that there was a guy in military fatigues writing in the back. And if Jeffrey Epstein was as powerful as we all think he was, there's no way he's going to hang himself by jumping off the top bunk of a prison bed. It just doesn't make any sense. You watch the reenactments of it, just don't even look real. You can't throw yourself off a bed and hang yourself like that with a bed sheet. Even the story they tell us is absolutely ludicrous, and I think it would take an idiot to believe it. So maybe I am the crazy conspiracy theorist for thinking Jeffrey Epstein could still be alive, but you see pictures like that look identical to the guy, and his hair's all grown out, he's got a big beard, and he's being covered by a security detail. It kind of makes you go, huh. So somebody needs to show that picture to Ben Shapiro ASAP so we can get Ben Shapiro's hot take on it, because Ben Shapiro knows better than you and I. Ben Shapiro knows everything, and that's why Ben Shapiro is such a great American. I love you, Ben, and remember, you're the best ever. I'll never be as good as you, Ben, and facts over feelings. It doesn't matter if you have 3 million documents proving that Jeffrey Epstein was a pedophile. It's better to deny it because that feels better, right, Ben? And is Jeffrey Epstein alive? I don't know. But that picture is a little sketchy, and I would like some more information. Somebody needs to go track that guy down, but I think that's going to be a challenge because that picture originated from Tel Aviv, Israel. Yeah, that's right, Tel Aviv. So good luck finding out if it was real or not. Good luck finding out if that was Jeffrey Epstein. I'm not going to hold my breath, but that does look like him. Tell me that doesn't look like Jeffrey Epstein. He's wearing those glasses. That looks just like him, but I've been wrong before. I could be wrong again. All right, guys, coming up next, we're going to dive deep into Bill Gates and the View's reaction. That's right, Whoopi Goldberg is reacting to Bill Gates trying to secretly give Melinda Gates some antibiotics for a sexually transmitted disease that he allegedly got from some Russian prostitutes. Coming up next.
There are few things more aggravating than seeing your tax dollars wasted by the government. All too often, when big government tries to save the day, the funds sent around the world to help people in need are diverted by corrupt leaders to line their own pockets, enrich their cronies, or further an agenda that has nothing to do with helping their countrymen. You can do a better job at promoting freedom than any government can. Scan the QR code now or visit atlasnetwork.org/RAV today to join the worldwide freedom movement. With your gift of just $19 a month, we'll send you an Atlas Network exclusive hat. Plus, we'll send the print edition of our Freedom's Champion magazine to your door. We identify, train up, and celebrate local leaders as they work to make freedom a reality across the world. Our partners often risk everything, their reputations, their livelihoods, even their lives to fight for freedom in places where authoritarianism reigns. Visit atlasnetwork.org/RAV or scan the QR code to join our mission to help pro-freedom organizations around the world. Donate $19 a month to receive your exclusive Atlas Network hat.
Hi, my name is Tracy L. from Arizona. I don't stink around in the kitchen when it comes to the news. I watch Real America's Voice, which always serves accurate and reliable updates that are on point with their amazing hosts. So don't find yourself in a pickle by tuning into the fake news. Stick with Real America's Voice.
Hello, this is Hockey Nut from Weyerhaeuser, Wisconsin. Just saying, tune in to Real America's Voice for the truth.
Hi, Pat from Muskegon, Michigan. Why do you love Rav?
Because we've become family. All those Rav live chatters and me.
Hi, Pat from Muskegon, Michigan. Why do you love Rav?
Because we've become family. All those Rav live chatters and me.
to After Hours on Real America's Voice.
That's right. It's Thursday night. It's a little late, but don't hate. We're going to still be great. Now, my favorite show of all TV shows is The View. I love Joy Behar. She's got, nice, big, meaty boobs on her. And I'm also very sexually attracted to Whoopi Goldberg, because you guys know I love black women, of course, because I am 1/16 black. Now, they have a hot take on Bill Gates' answer to whether or not he was guilty of trying to secretly drug his wife with an antibiotic so that she wouldn't catch his sexually transmitted disease. So let's hear what Whoopi has to say about nasty, dirty Bill Gates.
I was only at dinners, I never went to the island, I never met any women, and so, the more that comes out, the more clear it'll be that although the time was a mistake, it had nothing to do with that kind of behavior.
I know nothing. I did nothing.
Well, Melinda said that Bill needs to answer to questions about these allegations. As we keep saying, they all need to answer about these allegations. And do you think his denials in the interview are enough?
No, I mean, people can read what the Department of Justice itself released in terms of the Epstein files and Bill Gates. It's written right in the emails, and I do think that he needs to answer to it.
I mean, go Whoopi. Look at her holding them accountable. I mean, I just love to see that, because I know that those people during the pandemic, they just love to kiss Bill Gates' derriere. Oh, we love Bill Gates. Oh, get vaccinated, even though we have no long-term testing, so we don't know what the side effects are going to be. But go get vaccinated because Bill Gates said to do it. Bill Gates knows because he's a billionaire. He's so smart. So I love to see them flaming Bill Gates, and I like to see Joy Behar, too. I wish she would have worn something a little more sexual, show a little cleavage, because Whoopi is the best dressed of them all. She's always wearing her long, nice braids, and I'm sure they smell great. I'm sure they smell just like cocoa butter, which is one of my favorite smells, scents, whatever, you know what I mean. So I love the women at The View for actually calling Bill Gates out, because this is a story that both sides should be on top of. But I've yet to see Fox News really cover it very much. I think that they had Brett Baer ask Kash Patel a couple of clips. Ask him about a couple, we've played those clips. They've asked him, a few questions about it. But I haven't seen really any other hosts from their network actually giving it the time and energy that the Epstein releases deserve. So good for you, the women at The View, for holding Bill Gates accountable, because he's genetically modifying flies and mosquitoes to poison us with Lord knows what, allegedly. So I love you, Whoopi. Please, I wish you would respond to my phone calls. I've been calling you. I got your number from a mutual friend, and you will not answer. And you actually blocked me. If you would just unblock me on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and Snapchat, I would really appreciate it if we could kind of rectify things and, maybe go out and get some pina coladas, and I can massage your feet with a little bit of cocoa butter, and we can listen to some rap music, maybe Bad Bunny, who's playing at the Super Bowl, reggaeton. I know you like reggaeton because you kind of look like Bob Marley. So I love you, Whoopi. Thank you for being so strong. Now, guys, one of my arch nemesises, and if you're not that familiar with the Pimp on a Blimp Primetime Alex Stein, I have a storied past, and I've had friends and foes, but one of my biggest enemies is a guy by the name of Stephen Bonnell, a.k.a. Destiny. Now, this guy is one of the biggest streamers on the left, but he's also a sexual degenerate. He's famous for being in an open relationship with his wife, who his wife ended up leaving him, and him and I had a debate, and the debate was whether it was more sexually immoral to catcall AOC or to let your wife get blasted by other guys in an open relationship. You know how I feel. I think it's obviously more disgusting to have random guys, doing nasty doggy style to your girlfriend or your wife for that matter. And I think, casually flirting with a congresswoman is much less egregious. So that's where Destiny's thought process is. It's really insane, but he's really popular online. But what he said in this clip is just so dumb. And I didn't think Destiny could get any dumber. So let's play the clip.
Show me a single fucking clip in the past 8 years of Donald Trump speaking intelligently about any policy decision, domestic or foreign. You will not find a single one, not a single clip of the president of the United States speaking like he has any wherewithal whatsoever about policy. Donald Trump, if you put him on stage right now, he wouldn't be able to tell you what a tariff is. He wouldn't be able to explain the responsibilities of the three branches of government. He wouldn't be able to do it. He doesn't know what the Attorney General is for. He doesn't know what the Department of Justice. He has no concept of any of these things. But he gets a pass by it because the media won't press him on it because they don't want to seem biased and because his supporters are idiots.
Now, this is the same guy that supported Joe Biden, the autopin president, that was basically comatose for the last 4 years when he was in office. So, Destiny, I think you're being a little hypocritical. The candidate that you love so much, Kamala Harris, was dating Montel Williams, was in a throuple allegedly, doing Lord knows what. And Donald Trump is the greatest president in our lifetimes. He's lowered gas prices. He's stopped wars. He's actually brought America back to the forefront and shown that we're the most globally dominant country to ever exist. So you're retarded, Destiny. Donald Trump is the greatest president, and you should count your lucky stars that Donald Trump is in office. Because if it wasn't for Donald Trump, the whole world would be going to, I can't cuss on this show, but it would be going to hell in a handbasket. Let me just, clean up my language a little bit. So, Destiny, you're retarded. You need to give Donald Trump a little respect. Even if you don't like him, you have to understand that our country is going in a much better direction and that people can afford groceries. People can afford to fill up their tank with gas. People can actually live their lives not in fear of getting attacked by a Trinde Aruga gang member like Laken Riley and getting brutally murdered. So the world is a safer place. You look at the murder rate in Washington, D.C., it's gone down, the lowest rate that's ever been in 125 years since they started keeping that stat. So Donald Trump is the best president that we've ever had. And you just need to just admit it, Destiny. You running away from it is not going to change the facts. So, like your best friend, Ben Shapiro, actually, I think they're mortal enemies, facts over feelings. All right, guys. Now, this is the last clip that I want to go over today. Everybody knows, if you do know who I am, I'm the town hall terror. I've done more things at city council meetings than anybody else. I've called out politicians. I've rapped about Ukraine and I go insane, put a bullet in Putin's brain. I've done the vaccine rap. I've worshipped big booty Latinas, and I've done it from coast to coast, California to New York and everywhere in between. So I'm an expert when it comes to publicly speaking at these meetings. And there's a video that's making its rounds on the internet of a guy dressing like Batman. Now, before we play the clip, I just want to start off by saying this guy had a great idea, but his execution was so bad because he didn't stay in character. He immediately broke the fourth wall, which just made it hit so much softer than it could have been. Like if he went there with this Dark Knight action, it was like, oh, I'm going to come there and retribution and yada, yada, yada. Almost kind of like giving them idle threats, not like physical threats, but, as if he was Batman and he was going to clean up the city and, take things into his own hands. It would have been brilliant. But instead, he kind of just went soy boy, baby back bitch mode, dare I say. So let's watch this clip.
I don't want you to sit back and watch. I want you to do something. Each and every one of these people who have came up has been very polite, very earnest, very kind, pleading you, begging you to do something. I'm not begging you. I'm demanding that you act with some semblance of a spine. Do something.
Thank you.
Now, that would have been so much better if he didn't break the fourth wall and talk about the other people. He should have just been Bruce Wayne the whole entire time. That was just so ridiculous that he wore that outfit. And that was an expensive outfit. That was like one of those authentic Hollywood costumes. Maybe he made it himself. I'm sure he goes to a bunch of weird Comic-Cons and does, I don't even want to think about what that guy does at one of those weird festivals. But he had everything right there in the palm of his hands. He could have just made it the best speech ever, but he just struck out. I mean, nothing he said really hit home. He cussed a few times, which I guess is kind of cool because in a setting like that, people don't typically cuss. But for him to call out everybody else and say that they were respectful while simultaneously being respectful, it just doesn't get your point across like you think it does. And I'm sure those councilmen and women were probably just laughing, but they could have been scared. If you would have stayed in total Bruce Wayne mode and just, Dark Knight mode, it would have actually gone so much more viral. So listen to me. I'm the town hall terror. I'm an expert when it comes to speaking at city council meetings. And you know what? I might have to go put on my Robin costume and go show them up. So be on the lookout. Primetime Alex Stein is coming to a city near you, and I'll be in my tuck-friendly Robin costume, and I will not be breaking character. Those council men and women will definitely know that they're speaking to Batman's sidekick, the one, the only Robin. All right, guys. Well, that's been our show. I want to also plug something, though, before we go. I'm so lucky that I get to represent Turning Point USA. I was lucky to, call Charlie Kirk a friend of mine. And I'm lucky to go on a lot of college campuses and have opportunities that I never would have had if I wasn't connected with Turning Point. So that's right, guys. We're coming back with the Pick Up the Mic initiative, and we're going to be doing public debates on campus all across the country. With our first event is at Texas Tech University on March 19th, and it's going to start at 11 a.m., and then we're also doing a comedy show at 7 p.m. So if you want to come debate the Pimp on a Blimp, I encourage everybody to come out to Texas Tech in Lubbock and come challenge your boy Primetime 99 Alex Stein. No topic is off limits. If you want to call me out, you want to call Turning Point out, you're going to be dancing with a metaphorical devil dog. And no, I'm not Charlie Kirk, but I'm Charlie Kurt, the evil version of Charlie. So you took out Charlie, now you're stuck with me. And things are going to get spicy, so I hope you have a little bit of milk to wash it all down. All right, folks, that's been our show. We're going to be back tomorrow night, Friday night, to end the week. It's been our first week. Thank you to everybody that's been watching the show, sharing the clips, and telling your friends and family about it. We're just getting started. We're still ironing out some of the details when it comes to this show, so there's going to be some snafus, and, we're going to fumble the ball a little bit. But by the time that this show really gets rolling, you're not going to want to miss it. I promise you that. So thank you for watching tonight. Sorry we couldn't get to you, Jay. I gave him the wrong time. That happens. I'm not much of a bookkeeper, and I can barely read, a clock. So that's on me. Thank you to everybody in the control room. Thank you to the producers, Isaiah, Rodney. Thank you, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow night.
On the grind all the time. You crazy and I go insane. Put a bullet in 2 things rain. And you got that sanitizer. And you know I got that Pfizer. You know.
There are a few things more aggravating than seeing your tax dollars wasted by the government. All too often, when big government tries to save the day, the funds sent around the world to help people in need are diverted by corrupt leaders to line their own pockets, enrich their cronies, or further an agenda that has nothing to do with helping their countrymen. You can do a better job at promoting freedom than any government can. Scan the QR code now or visit atlasnetwork.org/RAV today to join the worldwide freedom movement. With your gift of just $19 a month, we'll send you an Atlas Network exclusive hat. Plus, we'll send the print edition of our Freedom's Champion magazine to your door. We identify, train up, and celebrate local leaders as they work to make freedom a reality across the world. Our partners often risk everything: their reputations, their livelihoods, even their lives to fight for freedom in places where authoritarianism reigns. Visit atlasnetwork.org/RAV or scan the QR code to join our mission to help pro-freedom organizations around the world. Donate $19 a month to receive your exclusive Atlas Network hat.
Hi, my name is Tracy L. from Arizona. I don't stink around in the kitchen when it comes to the news. I watch Real America's Voice, which always serves accurate and reliable updates that are on point with their amazing hosts. So don't find yourself in a pickle by tuning into the fake news. Stick with Real America's Voice.
Hello, this is Hockey Nut from Weyerhaeuser, Wisconsin. Just saying, tune in to Real America's Voice for the truth.
Hi, Pat from Muskegon, Michigan. Why do you love Rav?
Because we've become family. All those Rav live chatters and me.
Hi, Pat from Muskegon, Michigan. Why do you love Rav?
Because we've become family. All those Rav live chatters and me.